Alright, so here we are. We've got our Platform 9 environment stood up. It's up and running. We have some virtual machine running. We have a few images. We have some networks. Everything's working great. But now we want to assign some SSH keys so that we can do some automation. So the first thing we want to do is create a new SSH key. So we have some instructions here on how to do that. So we'll go ahead and run these instructions exactly as they're set here. So we'll come into a terminal, and let's go ahead and do an SSH key gen for our cloud key. All right, so I already have one, so we'll go ahead and overwrite that. And you can choose to set a password or not. I'm going to not set a password. That way I can use this key for automation later. Great, so I've created two files here. We've created a cloud-key public key as well as a private key. So what we want is that public key. Right? This is the one that you can give away to anybody and have them put inside of a server, and then you can use your private key to connect. So let's see how that works. We're going to call this our cloud key, and let's go ahead and paste that in there and click import. Great. So we have a great cloud key there. It's all set up, and we're ready to go. Okay, great. So now that we have this SSH key, we can go ahead and take this and assign it to an instance. So let's go ahead and create an instance here. We'll create a new VM instance. We'll choose Ubuntu this time. Make it small. To the same service network here. We'll call this one SSH Key. Let's go ahead and assign that cloud key this time and allow SSH and ICMP. That way we can connect to this without having to change it later. And then we'll customize this system. We'll use that same guest customization script that we had before. So there it is. Same password, Winter Wonderland. We're enabling, we're setting the password to never expire and allowing us to SSH using passwords in case that SSH key doesn't work, although I'm sure it will. All right, let's go ahead and create that instance. And again, the Windows password's randomly generated just in case this was a Windows machine. And we'll let that virtual machine build. And again, building virtual machines might vary depending on how fast your storage is and all of those things. So, all right, so that virtual machine's built. We need to assign a floating IP to it. So let's go over to networks again here and floating IP address. We will go ahead and assign a new floating IP address. Let's create a new floating IP from the external network and create that floating IP. And there it is. And then let's go back to instances and let's refresh this instance to make sure that it's in good shape. And let's try to attach that floating IP address. There it is. And let's assign that. Fantastic. So now we have a floating IP address. It's 172.23.202.6. So now what we should be able to do is SSH with a -i and specify that cloud key that we just created. And the username for that Ubuntu image happens to be Ubuntu. And we're going to do that there. All right. And this might take just a minute. Ubuntu's a little fussy about DNS, but we're in. No password typed or anything. Here we are. We're able to sudo su, and let's cat that text file and make sure that hello world from PF9's there. So our guest customization took place. We were able to SSH using our SSH key. The host name did change, so it is SSH Key, and we're in good shape. So we just showed how to do that as well. Pretty straightforward. So at this point, you have all of the basics that you need to know on how to create virtual machines, get up and running with Platform 9, and start using it. In the next step, we're going to show you how to create a self-service user and put them inside of their own project so that they can log in and create things through self-service so they're not admins.